it's you. Hi. I'm so glad you're here because I have a question for you. Are you a little bit nervous about your first day of school coming up? Well, if you are, I'm going to tell you a story about Stitch's day at school. Do you want to hear it? All right. Well, I debut Stitch's day at school. Hope you enjoy it. You see, Lilo and Stitch were excited. It was pet day at school. All the kids were bringing their pets to class. Pet day at school? That sounds like fun. Do you think they'll have dogs and cats for show and tell? Let's see what happens next. Hurry up, Lilo! Lilo's older sister called. You'll be late for school! Nani, look at Stitch. We're going to be on our best behavior today, right? Stitch nodded. He was very excited to go to Lilo's school. Stitch at Lilo's school? That sounds like fun. I wonder what Stitch will learn at Lilo's school. Interesting. Let's see what happens next. At school, there were all different kinds of pets. Some were big and fluffy, and some were small and scaly, and some even looked like their owners. The class also had a pet of its own, a frog named Mr. Phibbs. But none of the animals looked like Stitch. Mr. Phibbs the frog? That's really interesting. I wonder what Stitch will think of Mr. Phibbs. Let's see what happens next. After each presentation, Lilo got more and more excited. She couldn't wait for her turn. Stitch was curious about all of the different creatures. But when he tried to get a closer look at the class pet Mr. Phibbs jumped out of his habitat and disappeared through the door. Stitch chased Mr. Phibbs. The frog hopped down the hall and into another classroom. Uh-oh, sounds like trouble. Mr. Phibbs just escaped his habitat and is hopping into another classroom. Do you think Stitch will catch Mr. Phibbs in time before the teacher found out? Let's see. In that classroom, students wear goggles and aprons as they work on experiments. It reminded Stitch of Jumba's lab. Stitch knew he should find Mr. Phibbs and get back to Lilo. But he couldn't resist trying his own experiment. With some careful pours and shakes, Stitch created a stink bomb that sent everyone scrambling from the room, including his froggy friend. The hallway was filled with students headed toward the cafeteria. How would he ever find Mr. Phibbs in that crowd? Stitch followed all the students as they filed into the cafeteria, searching for the little green frog. Mr. Phibbs in the cafeteria? I hope they don't serve him as frog legs. That would be really weird. Let's see what happens next. Stitch didn't have to worry. Mr. Phibbs hopped right behind him to the cafeteria. Stitch tried to grab him, but missed. Mr. Phibbs jumped right onto a tray, spilling food everywhere. Food fight! As the cafeteria erupted into chaos, Stitch spotted Mr. Phibbs jumping out the door. Oh, what a mess! The cafeteria is really chaotic, isn't it? Because Mr. Phibbs is hopping around everywhere, causing a lot of chaos in the cafeteria. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? As the frog hopped from room to room, Stitch followed. But every time he got close, something new caught his eye. He was doing math when he remembered what Nani had said about best behavior. School was interesting, but the clock was ticking and he needed to get back to class with Mr. Phibbs and fast. At last, Stitch found Mr. Phibbs. Just as the whistle blew and red rubber balls filled the air, Stitch stuck, jumped, and cartwheeled across the gymnasium and caught Mr. Phibbs. Now he can get back to Lilo's class. Uh-oh. Lots of dodgeballs were thrown and Stitch. Do you think Stitch will finally make it back in time to Lilo's class? Let's see. And just in time, it was Lilo's turn to introduce her pet for Pet Day. My name is Lilo Pelikai, and this is Stitch, she said. He's my Stitch. Stitch? Maybe the children will think Stitch is an alien. Will they? Interesting. Shall we see what happens next? What an unusual pet, said the teacher. Yes, ma'am, said Lilo. That's because Stitch isn't just a pet. He's my best friend and part of my ohana. And ohana means family. Lilo pulled Stitch into a big hug. Nani met Lilo and Stitch after school. Pet Day was great, Lilo said, and Stitch was on his best behavior. Really? Nani asked. I mean, really? I think that calls for some ice cream. Do you really think Stitch was on his best behavior? I didn't think so. But doesn't really matter anyway because Stitch was just curious about what school likes. Let's see what happens next. Stitch agreed that this was the best pet day ever. And from that day forward, Stitch learned that if you're going to school for the very first time, you should always be on your best behavior. No matter what day you had, always be on your best behavior at school or wherever you are. And that's the end of the story. Whew! That was a really chaotic and really interesting story about Stitch going to school for the first time. And I bet Stitch was really curious. I bet Stitch was really curious to see what was school like for him and for Lilo. Thank you so much for time for story time today. And please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more story time. And come again next time when we do some more story time adventures with me, Uncle Jason. Same story time and same story time channel. And always remember, it's perfectly normal and it's perfectly normal and it's okay to be scared about going to school for the first time. And what's most importantly is, if you're in school or in a classroom, it's always best to be on your best behavior no matter what you do. Well, until later, see you next time for more story time. Bye!